Do you feel like things have gotten strange lately? It's as if something is going on inside you, but you can't name it. Sometimes you feel restless and don't understand why. There are days when you lose interest in the things that once excited you. You're tired of having to make small talk. You want to temporarily turn off social networks, or you simply want to be alone. Don't worry yet. You're not broken. On the contrary, you are changed deeply and beautifully. You may not realize it yet, but you are very close to an important turning point in your life. The universe is whispering to you, and the interesting thing is, it's not spoken in words. Instead, it uses feelings, vague but very real signals inside you. The feeling of wanting to leave old things, the feeling of no longer matching your old self. You're not the same person you were a few months ago, right? That's no coincidence. As the Aries new moon approaches, it brings with it a very special energy. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it touches very deeply. It doesn't tell you to do something right away. Instead, it stirs up an urge in you, wanting to live more truthfully, wanting to be more clear, wanting to let go of things that no longer suit you. And if you are feeling these things, then you are called. Someone asked, "How do you know you are in the midst of a real change?" The answer is simple. You are no longer comfortable with what was once familiar. Conversations that were once fun now make you tired. Relationships that were once close now make you feel cramped. You start to question, do I really want to continue like this? That question is not negative skepticism. It's a sign you're ready to move on to a new chapter. Big changes often start with very small things. One morning you wake up and find yourself not wanting to do your usual things. An article suddenly pops up that touches you deep inside. A brief conversation that makes you think forever. Those signals are gentle reminders. It's time. And then, dopamine, the thing that creates your feeling of motivation, starts working in a new way. Previously, you ran after small external rewards, a compliment, a like, an achievement. But now, what makes you feel alive is the inner connection. It's the feeling that you're living right, getting closer to your true self. It's a deep, lasting type of motivation, no longer based on being recognized, but based on being yourself. So, if you're seeing something moving inside, don't ignore it. Listen. Take a look. No need to rush. Just be honest with yourself, because when you start listening, you are also starting to awaken. And that is the first step of a very new, very real, and very worth the wait journey. You know, there are moments in our lives when it feels like the universe is gently knocking on our door and asking, "Do you want to start again?" And this time, that question is being sent to you, silently but intensely, through the special energy portal from the Aries new moon. Maybe you've been feeling not quite yourself lately. Things that once made you excited suddenly become dull. The dreams you once pursued now seem strange when you look back. It feels like something in my heart is moving, as if it wants to emerge, wants to breathe, wants to truly live. And hey, if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. Because this is a very special time, a silence between the old and the new. And in that silence, you have a choice. Continue to hold on to the old version of yourself, or courageously step through the open door to become the person you truly want to become. It sounds big, but it actually starts from very small things. For example, do you find yourself becoming more easily annoyed with small talk lately? Or do you no longer have enough energy to try to please others like before? Those things don't mean you're overdoing it or down in spirit. On the contrary, it is a very clear sign that your mind and body don't want to act anymore. You are gradually reaching a more honest version of yourself. Maybe your heart is a mess right now, both excited and scared. Part of me wants to let go of everything old. Part of me regrets the familiar things. And that's completely normal. Because our brain, because we want to feel safe, will always pump us with an amount of dopamine when we are in the comfort zone. But the truth is, what makes you feel safe may not make you true to yourself. So instead of waiting for a big push from outside, try listening to yourself right now. You probably don't need to quit your job or change your life overnight, but you can start with a small action. Write down the things you really want to do, but always put aside. Meet someone you love that you've been putting off for so long. Try something that used to make you happy, no matter how small, like drawing, dancing, cooking, or just a phone-free walk. When you start doing those things, a miracle will happen. You will see your heart light up. Like a long-forgotten candle, now just a slight spark is enough to ignite it again. The most important thing during this stage is not to judge yourself. You don't need to have all the answers right away. You just need to allow yourself to try again. Try being true to your feelings. Try listening to your intuition. Try trusting that vague but true feeling that it's time for a change. Maybe people around you won't understand. They will ask why you are different, why you are no longer the same you as before. But my friend, you were not born to live forever in one version. People are always changing, always evolving, and now you are at the threshold of a new journey, where you no longer live to please the world, but to live fully with yourself. So, if your heart is beating faster while reading these lines, if in your heart you are thinking, maybe this is what I am looking for, then you already know the answer. This is not a coincidence. This is an invitation. And on the other side of that door is a greater version of you waiting to live. Not perfect. No need to bear the burden. Just be real. Just be yourself. You know, in the journey of change, what makes us most tired is not the change, but the resistance to it. Maybe you feel like you're at a crossroads, everything old is still there, but no longer makes you happy. You want to move on, but you feel scared, and that's completely normal. Who isn't afraid to leave their comfort zone, right? But I want you to remember this. Letting go doesn't make you weak. On the contrary, it requires a lot of courage. I understand that feeling when you're still trying to keep a relationship because you're afraid of loneliness, keep a job because you're afraid of unemployment, or keep a familiar lifestyle because you're afraid of having to start over. But what happens if you don't let go? You will still be there, in the same loop, and day after day, the feeling of frustration in your heart will grow, silently, but clearly. It's not you living, it's you just existing. There is a gentle but profound truth. What belongs to you will not need you to hold on too tightly. If a person, a job, or a situation is truly right for you, it won't force you to stay. So, when you find yourself struggling every day, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what am I holding on to? And why am I afraid to let go? I know giving up doesn't come in a day. Maybe you need time. But let's start small. An old thought, a habit that no longer works, a self-blame that you keep repeating. Each time you let go a little, you will feel a little lighter. And it's that feeling, the feeling of relief, of being yourself, that will make you want to go further. Dopamine, the happy chemical in the brain, doesn't just appear when we are praised or achieve a goal, it also comes upon us. Free yourself from something heavy. So, every time you dare to let go of something old, know that your body is celebrating that freedom, naturally. And little by little, change begins to stop being scary and becomes something you crave. Don't worry if others don't understand you. Don't be sad if someone leaves when you start living your real life, because the people who stay are the people who love the real you, not the appropriate version you tried to become. And when you start to let go, not because you're discouraged, but because you're choosing yourself, that's when you truly move forward. And I'm sure of one thing, you absolutely can do it. There's no need to know all the answers, just dare to take the first step. Have you ever felt like you were living a life that wasn't entirely yours? Even though everything looks fine on the outside, there is always an unnameable void inside. Maybe you still laugh and talk, still complete your work every day. But deep inside, there is a vague feeling of loss. If you've started feeling this way lately, know it's not a coincidence. That is, you are starting to remember who you really are. Maybe you used to be very happy, excited about small dreams, and looked at the world with clear eyes. But over time, life teaches you to be realistic, to be strong, to be reasonable. And so you begin to put the dreamy parts in a locked drawer. You learn how to yield so as not to cause trouble. Learn how to be silent so as not to be judged. Learn how to smile wryly to please others. But then one day, you no longer recognize who you are. That's when your soul begins to speak. You start to feel tired of relationships where only you put in the effort. Conversations that once felt pleasant now feel suffocating. There are things you used to ignore that now suddenly become unbearable. You may not be able to explain it, just know that you don't want to continue to struggle anymore. This doesn't mean you're changing in a negative way. On the contrary, you are removing each layer of cover that you have put on for many years. You are returning to the purest version of yourself, just yourself, without trying to please anyone. The important thing is, don't be afraid of this feeling. This is a natural transition period. When you've lived too long in a role, returning to yourself can leave you feeling empty or confused. Because you are used to chasing recognition, used to being praised is good, being considered stable. But actually, you were not born to live according to other people's standards. You were born to live authentically with your inner voice. Pay attention and see. Are you still happy with the things that used to make you excited? The goals you are pursuing, are they truly yours? Or are they just expectations others have placed on you? When you start asking yourself questions like this, you are opening a new door. That door does not take you far, but brings you back to the center of your soul. And sometimes just sitting quietly for a moment, you will realize what is really important to you. There is a simple but effective way to support you during this period. Keeping a diary. Write down all the emotions you're experiencing. It doesn't have to be logical or fancy, just real. Writing it down will help you see more clearly what's going on inside, like looking into a mirror for your soul. Another way is to take time for yourself. Do nothing. Just sit still and listen. Listen to your heart. Listen to the things you once overlooked. You may also feel that someone is gradually moving away from you. Don't be sad, because those who are only next to you when you are wearing a mask, they are not part of your next journey. When you start living authentically, fake relationships will naturally disappear, giving way to deeper, more real connections. And while the process may not be easy, trust me, it's worth it. Because on the other side of truth is freedom. When you no longer need to pretend, you will see how relieved you are. No need to try to be reasonable or proper anymore. You just need to be yourself, and that's more than enough. You are remembering who you really are. And it's not just a journey, it's a return. Slowly, sincerely, and bravely. You don't need to know all the answers right now. Just take small steps. Keep your heart open, and believe that the path you are on is the right path. Not because anyone else said so, but because your heart quietly whispered, "It's time." Dear friend, if you have felt that something inside you is changing, that you are no longer comfortable with the old things, that there is a gentle but clear calling urging you to do something different, then I want you to know that it is a very special signal, and you are not alone in that feeling. When an energy portal opens, as during this new moon, we are not only invited to change our thoughts or emotions, but also to begin with specific actions. Any profound transformation needs to be connected to real, everyday life. And sometimes, it's the little things, seemingly the simplest, that are the key to the greatest awakening. The first thing I want to invite you to do is take some time every day to stop. It doesn't have to be a deep or complicated meditation session. Just turn off the noise around you, your phone, social media, the thoughts running through your head, and sit down in silence for about 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale gently. Do this 3 times. It sounds simple, but just these few minutes are enough to help you reconnect with yourself in a world that always requires you to do something. When you do this every day, you are sending a very clear signal to the universe and to yourself. I am ready to listen. And that's when new ideas and inspirations will come gentle as a breeze, but strong enough to shake everything inside you. If you find it difficult to sit still, you can start by taking a slow walk in nature. Touch a tree, walk barefoot on the ground if possible. Feel the smell of grass, the sounds of birds, the sunlight. When we come into contact with nature, our bodies and minds become grounded, again a much-needed state when the energy in the universe is drastically changing. You may not see what happens right away, but the feeling of relief and peace afterward will be the clearest evidence. Another thing that I find extremely useful is writing. No need to write well, just be honest. Every morning or every evening, write down 3 things: what you're feeling today, what's bothering you, and what you want to relax. Write like you're talking to a best friend genuinely, without holding back. Gradually, you will realize that many of the answers have been inside you for a long time. You just haven't sat down to listen to them before. If you have strange dreams these days, write them down. Sometimes dreams don't say it clearly, but the emotions you carry with you when you wake up are great hints from your subconscious. Don't miss it. And then try doing a small ritual to release old energy. Take a piece of paper, write down all the things you want to let go, a habit that no longer works, a fear, or even a relationship you've tried to keep just because of habit. Then you can burn the paper safely, or shred it and bury it underground. That action is not superstitious, but a very powerful way for your body and mind feel that you are truly ready for a new chapter. I know, when you start doing these things, the dopamine in your brain will not explode, like when surfing TikTok, eating sweets, or receiving compliments. But this is a different kind of joy, a deep and lasting joy. It comes from living true to yourself, slowly peeling off the layers that life has placed on you over the years. You won't need to try to be someone else anymore. You just need to return to yourself. And to do that, start small, but do it every day. That's how you step into new energy, gently, steadfastly, and lovingly. You are close enough to the truest version of yourself. Now just need to take one more step.